Hello everyone, welcome to my PetayPanMoFo. There have been 2 new creator modes added to the tunables that we will hopefully be getting sometime in the future drip feeding content. You have King of the Hill and Survival. In this video I will be showcasing Survival and I will cover King of the Hill in another video as there is a lot to go over here. Rockstar insider TezFun2 has told me Rockstar are releasing their own Survival and it will be alien themed. Then also the game file gurus. I think this is an alien mystery group. They found some code in the files and the alien eggs are going to be health, mega power cells as armor, and the weapons are going to be the laser weapons. That was added with the Arena War update. So I expect we will have to wait a while until they release their alien survival before we get access to this. I mean, they haven't even given us the RC car yet, so you never know. It could be ages. Big shout out to MTK who helped me out getting these in my creator. Go check out his video linked in the description along with Tez's and the Guru's Twitter. So the survival works just like the one they have now. You have to survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies. You can configure a lot of different stuff for each wave, which I will go over now. So first, place your trigger. If you're happy with its location, you can take the lobby camera. You then want to set your title and description in survival details so you can save the job. There are not many options here. You can take the photo, add tags, blimp text, and set the lobby radio. The time of day and weather settings are in the ambient options for some reason. I don't know why they need their own section, but that's where they are. So first you want to set a play area. You can make either a cylinder or a box play zone. In the cylinder option you can set the radius from 50 to 250 and you can raise the top and base heights. If both of these are set to off, then the height will not be taken into account. So this is when you want players on multiple heights. You can change the size of it once you've placed it. With the box play area, you've got the same option, but this time it will place one side of the box. You will then need to place the opposite side. Once you place the first side, you will notice a yellow circle come up. This is the maximum distance you can go to place the opposite side. Once you've placed the area, you get 2 options to move either of these positions if you want to edit the zone. Under those is where you can edit the width. You can have this from 25 up to 250. Then again you can edit the top and the base heights if needs be. With both of the play areas you can reset it at the bottom if you want to reset and start again. Warning, if you do this or change between area types it will clear any place spawn points. But next up you want to place down your player spawn points. This will be where the player starts the game and spawns on each wave. It will tell you how many spawn points need to be placed in the bottom right hand corner. This depends on how many players the job is set to. You can use the bumpers to spin the direction, and if you're unhappy with the placement of it, you can hover over it and edit or delete it. The same goes for other spawn points. And next up is enemy spawn points. This is where the enemy NPCs will spawn in during the waves. You can edit the actors and everything later, so don't worry about any of that yet. It's a good idea to place these in cover or outside the play area. This will give the enemies time to spawn in safely. You will see a red circle appear. This is where you will need to place the spawn. And on the bottom right it shows how many you need to place and how many you have, up to 15. Land vehicle spawn points are for enemies who spawn in land vehicles, and there needs to be at least 4 of these. Unlike the enemy spawns, these have to be placed outside the play area. Again, don't worry about what vehicle this is, as it can be edited later in another menu. The red area for placing spawns is a lot bigger and you can place up to 12 spawn points. In here it also lets you preview the vehicles in the different waves. Enemies who spawn in air vehicles will automatically find their own spawn. You then have props in here. You have all the usual combat props available in deathmatches and that. In pickups you have weapons, health and armor. Place crates down for the weapons as these can change through the waves. You can edit the pickup loadout in the wave configuration. It is not a requirement to place any pickups, but they will have to be placed within the play area. Then you have all the delete options in here. Remember though, if you hit delete all, it will also delete any saved templates. Survival configuration. The first 3 options let you edit model types across all 3 waves. The squad enemy options let you edit the models for the regular enemies and heavy units. You can also enable heavy units on all waves or reset them back to default. Land vehicle options will let you change the vehicle model. You can also turn them on or off for all waves using the checkboxes and reset them back to default. Air vehicle options is exactly the same, but obviously for air vehicles instead. You can set the number of waves here and this ranges from 5 to 20. Survivals have a default setup to them already, but you can go into a lot more details for each wave in this wave configuration menu. You can customize each wave's number of enemies, land and air vehicles, the weapons they use, and much more. The intensity and the number of stages will determine the amount of enemies there are. You can see this change in the display on the right hand side. This shows you info for each wave setup. Next you can set the enemy's difficulty, and under that is where you choose the model. There are 3 categories: gang members, enforcement and others. In each of those you have different types you can choose. You can then use these to set different NPCs for different waves. Heavy units can add difficulty to the wave and have their own customizations in squad's configuration. Here you can check the box to enable them. This will add 1 to each squad on the last stage. This increases the higher the wave, can also be set manually. Under that you choose the heavy unit model for that wave. Next is vehicles. Checking this will automatically add 2 to the wave. Enemies will use the weapons in vehicles if they have them, and if not they just shoot out the windows. Under that you can select the vehicle you want for that round. This option will edit all of them in the selected wave, but you can edit them individually, which I will show you later. Enemies can also arrive from air vehicles. All available vehicles have weapons or space for enemies to shoot out from. Check the box if you want to add 1 to the selected wave. Underneath you can choose which type of air vehicle you want for that round. Pickup loadout is where you can edit the weapon pickup loadout. You can set different weapons in here for each crate in each wave, so you're able to have different weapon pickups for different rounds. For more customization options, you can use the advanced configuration menu. In here you can go into a lot more detail for the current wave, which you can change at the top. The squad's configuration menu gives you full control of the difficulty of each stage on the wave. You can set the number of squads per stage and the number of enemies in those squads. Under that you have the health, armour, accuracy and combat ability. You can then choose the enemy model. In heavy units you can set the number of units, health and armour multiplier, and select the model for each stage in the wave. Stage enemies progression is the number of NPCs left before spawning in the next stage of enemies. So the next stage in the wave will start when there is this many of enemies left alive. Under that you can set the number of vehicles for the wave. An extra one gets added if there are 3 or more players. Land vehicle configuration, you have a list of the vehicles in the wave. Here you can change each vehicle model, how many enemies spawn in it, its vehicle health and its colour. This way you can have different vehicles on the same wave. Next you can set the number of air vehicles in the wave, then if you want to edit it, open up the air vehicle configuration menu. In here you can choose the individual vehicle model, health and colour. Finally in this menu you have the loadouts for the enemy weapons. In here you can set what weapons each squad has and the weapon for the heavy unit in the selected wave. Once you set up a wave you can copy its settings by hitting X or square on PlayStation, and you can also randomize the waves by hitting RB or R1. When you've finished making your job, you will need to take a photo. This is important because it's for the job thumbnail and it's what will get people to bookmark the job. Then before you're able to publish, you will need to complete a valid test. You can also preview your survival in here. Select the wave you want to preview and hit preview the survival. But to publish the job you will need to test all spawn points. This will run a quick test wave, testing the NPC and vehicle spawns, making sure they work properly. But anyway, that's a full rundown of all the options in the Survival Creator. Subscribe if you are new to my channel for more tutorials and custom jobs with bookmark links. Remember to drop the video a like. I'm PetayPanMoFo, thanks for watching.
Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Peter Pan, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely.